land of the Kulin Nations. With the Albanese government putting reconciliation front and centre of its agenda, hope had started to creep in that progress might be on the horizon. But on just day 2 of the new parliament, things hit a bit of a speed bump. Yesterday held such promise.
The Uluru Statement from the Heart is a generous offer. It's a handout just saying, please, hold it.
Even the opposition leader was loving the new vibe.
I think it makes me look better, is that right?
As a record number of First Nations pollies took their place in our most diverse parliament ever. Next minute.
I acknowledge the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples who are the traditional custodians of the Canberra area and pay respects to elders past and present of all Australia's Indigenous peoples. Thank you.
That yelling off camera was Pauline Hanson, storming out of the Senate in protest of the acknowledgement of country.
Well, I called out, no I won't, and I never will.
An acknowledgement which has happened for 12 years now, making it an odd hill to die on.
Seriously, I cannot walk down here.
Or perhaps not.
Let's acknowledge those people, men and women, who have lost their lives and sacrifices that they have made for our freedom and for our country. Not the Indigenous.
The One Nation leader claiming the acknowledgement perpetuates racial division.
I have as much right to this land as any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, but they don't want to acknowledge that. It's a shame, because new migrants come to this land, they should be welcomed just as much.
I believe we are in danger of being swamped by Asians.
I'm quite happy to remove this because this is not what should belong in this parliament.
I have no time for the Chinese. As far as I'm concerned, get out of our country.
What we saw from Senator Hanson this morning was disgraceful. It was extremely disrespectful to First Nations people and ultimately the act of an absolute racist.
Hanson's other beef, a motion to hang the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags alongside the Australian flag in the Senate.
This is the people's house. It is not the senators to decide this.
This afternoon, the motion passed.
I believe the ayes have it.
As the pot called the kettle.
Divisive.
Order.
We are one nation, one people, one flag.
Resume your seat.
Well, we did invite Pauline Hanson to join us tonight. Our offer was declined, but Labor Senator Jana Stewart is the youngest ever First Nations woman to be elected to Parliament. She joins us now. Firstly, congratulations. Not the nicest introduction to the Senate for you, though. What did you make of Pauline's outburst today?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pretty incredible day, marked by, well, started with someone who I'm sure it's not going to be the last time that they find themselves on the wrong side of history.
Well, a lot of people look at this and say, typical Pauline, but do stunts like that do real damage to your cause?
Look, I think, you know, if we're honest, there are absolutely, you know, parts of the Australian community that share views that are similar to Senator Hanson's. And if I'm being kind, you know, the education system that she was a part of back in the 1880s probably, you know, probably didn't have the education that we've got today, not to say that it's everything that it should be. We've got lots of work to do. But, you know, like, really, it's like, I see it as a bit of a failure of our education system, that there isn't that real kind of embedding and acknowledgement of First People's place in our country. And I think that we are on an incredible path under an Albanese Labor government to really get a sense of what that might look like into the future with voice, treaty and truth. Because really, for me, when you get to understand and tell the truth about the history of our country, what you hope to come out of that is doing away with views that Senator Hanson has about First Nations people and our place in this country.
Well, and yet it's in the current context, with whatever criticisms you want to make about the education system, that your government will be trying to push through the Uluru Statement, the voice to Parliament, in the form of a referendum, which is not an easy thing to do. Do moments like today, I don't know, do they give you a sense of what it is that the government is up against here, or give you a better understanding of how that argument's going to play out?
Look, yes and no. Like, I think we always knew that there was going to be a portion of the community that shared views like Senator Hanson's. That's a given in our country, because the very foundation of how our country started was one that said that we didn't exist here, and then one that's been perpetuated through our education systems, through the books and through the media over a long period of time. So it's going to take a bit of time to unwind that, but we're on the right track to be able to come back from that.
Can we talk about your maiden speech, which you have just delivered? Delivered at 35 weeks pregnant, I might add. Were you worried the bub was going to come early from all the excitement?
My second child is due in 4.5 weeks. So he's pretty comfy in there at the moment. But, I did bring all of my, medical paperwork just in case he decided to come early with all the excitement. But he is due on the same day as my birthday, so I'm hoping he comes just like a day or two early so I can celebrate my birthday separate to his.
How did your speech go?
It was emotional, stressful. I'm glad that it's over, but I feel like it really had the moments in it that I really wanted to speak to. It had a reflection of me and being frank and direct in how I communicate, with some humour, and it also allowed me to just share the women that have been really critical in shaping the person that I am today. So it was a nice kind of bringing together of everything that's happened to make me who I am and to talk about the things that I'm going to be focusing on in the future.
Well, all the best with everything. It's been a pleasure chatting tonight. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a big day, that maiden speech, isn't it?
Absolutely. I can imagine the nerves.
Yeah. All right, I'll still back and see you soon.